If you thought Australia was always sunny, you shouldn't believe the advertising. When it rains, it really comes down, and we've had it for a whole week. So much so that I can't even get to Mark's place to pick him up and review the car. So I had the car almost a week, and it's been me. And I tell you what, it has not been a burden. Well, boys and girls, I have a feeling this is a never-to-be-repeated car. It's a real throwback to times that it will be lost forever shortly. With a wave of electric vehicles coming, no criticism intended there, I like them. But when do you think you're going to find again a manual gearbox, hot hatch, under 45,000 bucks, under 40,000 bucks, with this much space, performance, safety, comfort, economy, and so much fun, capital F. Well, these are different conditions for an inCARnation review, aren't they? It's interesting, the steering on normal suburban roads in good conditions, I felt was a little bit detached somehow. It was pointy. It's only 2.2 turns lock to lock, but it wasn't engaging me. But here, when you start pressing on a bit, it's actually really good. I wonder why that is. You've got lots of different settings. I've got it set firmest, so I'm getting the most amount of weight. The grip's phenomenal. Grip is great. You can hear the little burble and pop on the exhaust. Can you imagine driving a normal sedan front-wheel drive hatchback in these conditions with this amount of confidence? Look at that. And it just gripped and pulled. Got a mechanical limited slip diff in the front. Yeah, amazing. I'll go back to second. It rev matched there. I didn't do it. You can heel and toe beautifully, but it does a great job for you. Yeah, amazing grip. A little bit of wheel spin, tiny bit, but really good. We're on special Pirelli P0s made especially for this car. You can tell because they've actually got HN for Hyundai on the side of the tyre. Tight corner here. Wow. Another tight corner. A little bit of flaring on the throttle there. When you get off the throttle when you're changing up, the revs tend to go woo up over the top even though you've got off the throttle. It's a little unpredictable like that. I've already driven this bit of road, so I know where the potholes are, and this section's not too bad, but a lot of aquaplaning though. A bit of movement, yep. Speed's very sensible today. Hear that? Feel that big sheet? Here's another one. That was really good. Very confidence inspiring on those bends there. There we go. Yep. We are no longer a car. We are a speedboat. Let's be sensible. That was fun, but now this is too much. How are you enjoying it so far? I tell you what, for a front-wheel drive hatchback, that was incredibly good. Should I have this much confidence in these conditions on that road? It's actually a really safe car. So let me ask you the question, what can you get for say under 40,000 bucks? Seats 4 people, manual gearbox, hot hatch, plenty of performance, front wheel drive, and the answer is bugger all. What are you thinking about? Renault Clio? No, can't get them anymore manual. Megane, too expensive. Polo, Volkswagen Polo, that'd be a good option, but only comes with a dual clutch gearbox. Same with the Golf, too expensive. You haven't got many options. How about Mazda 3? Also comes in manual, not sporty enough. Oh, Yaris GR, that'd be fantastic. All-wheel drive as well, manual. But way too expensive. They don't even advertise the price on their site anymore. It's like $52,000 for a second-hand one. We want under 40,000 bucks. So what have we got left in manual cars? The Abarth 595 Competizione is a bundle of fun, just not big enough for the family. Even the cheapest Mini Cooper is over budget and too slow. Suzuki Sport Swift, yeah, very good choice. Cheap, 33k, but not in the same league, I think, as the N car. Which just leaves one real competitor, the Ford Fiesta ST. Very similar power, torque, weight, also with a mechanical limited slip diff, so maybe that's one also worth having a look at. This car on the road, 37 grand, something like that. 36, 37 grand. That's unbelievable for what you're getting. Hold on, Stu, just a sec. inCARnation is a young channel, and if you haven't seen us before, welcome. Please check out some of the other reviews, maybe give us a like, leave a comment, tell us what you'd like us to review, or just tell me where I got it wrong. If you have seen us before and you want Mark back behind the wheel, well, leave a comment. Come back, Mark. Go on, hurt my feelings. I dare you. I double dare you. Maybe this car's biggest competitor is actually its more expensive big brother, the i20N. Admittedly, you haven't got all the stuff you get in the i20N, but look, that car, the one we tested was 56,000 bucks, the i20N Premium with sunroof. Even an ordinary one, this thing will save you 12 grand on an entry-level i20N. Now, the i20N we tested recently, and if you want to see the review of that, it's up there. It was one of our better ones, I thought. Mark drove very, very well. Now, that car had a smart, active e-differential that you could actually regulate a lot of things. You could adjust the electronic dampers, you could adjust the differential settings. This one is built to a price, so you can't do that. But, as we all know, track cars and road cars are completely different things, as we found out with the McLaren 600 LT. Great track car, but just too harsh on the road. This thing, I don't know if you can feel it. They've set it up really as a track car. I mean, you can tell this car's oriented to the track. It's 310 kilos lighter than an i30. 1,200 kilos or thereabouts versus 1510. You can come and, choose your race circuit you want to be at. Look at that. City Motorsport Park, Wakefield. When you drive there and you play with this thing, you'll find it'll go automatically to tyre pressures, G-forces, lap times there automatically. And it even knows where the start-finish line is. You're getting lap time. So very much focused for track. But often that means on a car where you can't adjust the damper settings and you can't adjust the diff and so forth, it's too harsh on the road. This is a one-size-fits-all. This is actually quite a good compromise. It's a little firm for me. Being an old man now, I actually like it a little more comfortable, but let's just see how it goes. This is just a world apart from the crappy old four-cylinder cars I used to own. Just the seating position is great. The seat is actually really good. I think it's better than the i30N performance seat that we had the other day. It's actually got better lumbar support. There's very little adjustment. There's no lumbar adjustment, but it's just good. Really snug. Sweet little gearbox. It's like an MX-5 box, just slots through. Doesn't quite have the damping that you might get. It's a tiny bit notchy, but I'd rather have it slightly too notchy than imprecise. So yeah, excellent. And over the washaway, power down. Very, very tight corner here, this one. And look, brake hard, turn it in, hook it in, right around. Look at that. Oh, the diff was really working there, but look at that. Tight corner again, super tight. Look, you can do all of that without even exceeding the speed limit. I can't help but do the heel and toe on the down change because it's just second nature, but let's try it without me doing it and see what happens. Yeah, it did a perfect little rev match there. Not too much, just enough to match the revs and make it a seamless gear change. Here comes a van on the wrong side of the road, having a big understeer. Bit too confident there, buddy. The dash display in Sport and N mode is straight out of a Nintendo with the flashing lights and things. There's no mistake when you're getting up towards red line. Yeah, torrential. Too exciting actually, because the potholes are so big where the rain's been going for a week that you just can't see them sometimes because they're full of water. How pretty is that, eh? Look at the waterfalls. What? And we have a stopped car who's just stopping to take some pictures in the middle of the road on a bend. We've got an all-wheel drive patrol, and no doubt you're in low range, low gear, probably pulling 4,000 revs at red line, 20 kilometers per hour. Is very cautious. The thing I'm noticing back here, while this person drives right down the centre of the road, is the stink of diesel. Oh well. Is not pleasant. This whole display is slightly more modern than the i30 that we reviewed. They've changed the interface a little bit, and I must say I really like this way you set up the controls. Right now we're still in sport mode, we're in N mode, and exhaust sound loud. Obviously we've got stability control on. I think that's prudent today, don't you? Rev matching's on, steering's heavy, engine's at sportiest configuration. That's perfect. So that's why we set it up. You can see brake pressure and throttle trace. It's so oriented towards track driving. It's amazing. Thank you. I love your work. Thank you for being a cautious person you are. This is very much a track focused dash for people. You've got your temps on the left, oil and water temp, and on the right you've got turbo boost and power and the torque you're making. So has this car made the transition from track car to road car? I wasn't convinced on driving it around on normal roads, but driving in this wash away conditions, it's actually brilliant. It's really, really good. Reasonably economical little 1.6 litre turbo, 150 kilowatts. Overboost function gives you over 300 Newton meters of torque when you need it. It does not have a nasty tail out characteristic. If you come into a corner too fast, lift off, even though the back's really light, it doesn't step out in a way that spooks you like some others in this class do. Looking at you, Ford Fiesta. See, here's a tight corner, auto blip. There, it matched the revs for me. Hook it in too fast, and it went round. Practicality, amazing. Look, I can get one bike in there. I could get 3 bicycles like that in the back of this car, and that's a 60 centimetre frame. That is a massive bicycle for what is a small car, just over 4 metres long, which is 300mm shorter than an i20N, so it's a much shorter car. But interesting, the wheelbase is actually very similar. There's a less than 100mm difference in the wheelbase. Seats 5, the back seat's fine. Look, there I am, looking comfortable. It's probably the most practical car we've driven. You can fit everything in, huge boot, lift up floor thing, short overhangs. It's got enough ground clearance, it's economical, vision's great, all the electronic aids you could want. Presentation though, for me, the squared off lines are distinctive, but it's not really my cup of tea from a looks view. But hey, I'm sitting inside it, I don't have to look at the outside. It is very distinctive. The red stripes and things make no mistake to a lot of people about what it is, but a lot of people still won't see it as anything other than just a little hatchback. Auto blip, there, oh, hear that? And a little crackle from the exhaust as well. Here's a wash away right on the apex. Just hit that smoothly, and another one. Hit it square. Mark, I bet you're grateful you're not here. But oh my goodness. And there we are. Well, I don't know about you, but that was a very exciting drive. We didn't push it, but yeah, very sketchy conditions out there. Look, I don't know what to say. Where can you get a car like this for this money? All your preconceptions about front-wheel drive cars dispensed. This thing grips and turns so well. In the i30N, it felt like it could have been an all-wheel drive car. It was so good. This is almost as close. You know you're in a front-wheel drive car in this one, but it's still really good. The differential at the front is just great. Not for me, only because I need something bigger for all my band gear. The styling, as I said, doesn't really thrill me, and I've spent plenty of time on the track instructing, so I've kind of scratched the track itch. I should point out that the 5-year warranty does cover limited track use, but not racing. Hyundai say more Australian tracks will be made available this year, and owners can load them themselves via USB. But if I was, and if I did, this would be at the top of the list. It is just so much fun. The only other comment I'd make is that even though they have similar torque per tonne ratios, the torque isn't as strong as in the i20N, down low. You have to rev this thing a bit harder. But gee, it does go. If there's one mod you should do to your cars, it's just get the best tyres you can. There's so much to be gained from getting good rubber on any car, whether it's a shitty old Nissan Micra or a good car. Just put good rubber on it for when you get conditions like this. Keep yourself safe. The last car we reviewed was a Porsche Carrera 3.2 from the 1980s. It would take a superbly skilled driver to keep up with this thing, particularly on the wet conditions we had today. And ultimately this car is much faster. Mark might disagree with me on this, but of the dozens of cars we've reviewed so far on this channel, on our rather subjective performance-oriented point-scoring system, I rank this car on the podium, bronze medalist so far, just behind the Porsche GT4 and GT3, and a couple of spots ahead of its big brother. So it's very good.